Hello, my name is Sarah and welcome to my first ever summerween readathon. I tried to put together my best little spooky outfit. I have this Halloween cookie sweater that I crocheted and knitted myself, which I will have to take off soon because I live in Florida, and although this is 100% cotton, it's still gonna get too hot. I have my little bug bolo tie and my skeleton earrings that both glow in the dark actually. And then a little array of rings. And I painted my nails black, so I am thoroughly in the spooky mood. I do have an array of spooky books that I'm going to be attempting to read. I probably won't read all of these, and quite a few of these are like short story collections and manga and stuff, so we'll see. Today is Tuesday. The official readathon hosted by Gabby Reads started on Saturday, but I don't like to film when there's people in the house, and my partner works from home on Mondays and Fridays and is home on the weekends. So I didn't film this weekend or Monday, but I have been reading. I read Hell Followed With Us. I finished this in like 2 days because I really loved it. The prompts for this summerween readathon are read a book in the dark or at night, read a horror or thriller book, read a book with a sky on the cover, read a book you've owned for more than a year, and read a novella, manga, or listen to a spooky audiobook. So this I'm going to count as the book with the sky on the cover. It doesn't really, I guess that's the sky back there. I think it counts because I don't think, I guess another book that I want to read does have the sky on the cover. So this could count for either, one of those. I'm going to be reading a lot of horrors, probably, so. And then the book that I am currently reading, I started last night, I'm about 90 pages in, is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. Another book I want to maybe read is Camp Damascus by Chuck Tingle. This, as far as I can tell, is about a group of kids that run away from a conversion camp where sort of paranormal stuff is happening, I think. I haven't read too much about this, but I do want to try to get into that. Then I have like a little, I guess this could count as a novella, a Goosebumps book about summer camp, because I just thought that would be fun. I have several short story collections, 3 short story collections. Shiver is Junji Ito's, I guess they're not short stories, just stories, I don't know what they're called. But Junji Ito's best-selling work is in here, I think. And then I have American Fantastic Tales: Terror and the Uncanny from the 1940s to now. So this just has a bunch of different horror short stories in it. Got Shirley Jackson, Stephen King, Ray Bradbury. So I might choose a few to read from this. I thought having some short stories would be a good little thing and fun, because I'm not going to read 10 books this week, but I could read a few short stories and 3 books. So this is a collection of Shirley Jackson stories. I got this because I really want to read The Haunting of Hill House. I absolutely adore Mike Flanagan's miniseries of The Haunting of Hill House, so I figured it's time that I read the novel. I also have Frankenstein by Junji Ito. I just read Frankenstein for the first time earlier this year, and I did not know that Junji Ito had a version of Frankenstein, and this just looks so beautiful, so I have to read this, and I think it'll be fun to have a little manga in the mix. So the prompt to read a book that you've owned for more than a year, I don't really buy books because I'm moving states at some point this year, and I also am chronically ill and I don't have a job, so I don't have an income to buy books with, so that's why all of these are from the library. I've been wanting to read The Haunting of the Hill House for a few years, so I figured that counts for that prompt. So those are all the books that I'm going to try to read. I probably won't read all of them. I'm gonna go drink some coffee and read more of My Best Friend's Exorcism, and maybe watch something spooky. I'm currently in the middle of, I'm actually towards the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I'm watching it along with Angel so I can get both the stories, because sometimes they converge storylines. So I guess that counts as spooky. Anyway, this is a super long intro, If you've made it through this, thank you. And I'm gonna go get to reading and I'll come back to update you. I wanted to take a moment to show off these pants. I bought these and they were like baby pink on Depop, and I wanted to dye them black to look like those like Free People bloomer pants. And the black dye only took right here and then made this like smoky purple color for the rest of it. And I think that they're really cute and really spooky, and they're so comfy and good for summer. So these are a summerween staple for me from now on. Here with a small update. I decided that I'm gonna do a sort of review of the books at the end. So I'm not gonna go too much into what happens or is happening in these books until the end of the video. But I did finish My Best Friend's Exorcism. I liked this one a lot. There was, again, a few things that I didn't love that kind of made me cringe a little bit, but overall, I liked this and I kind of sped through it again. And then I have started The Haunting of Hill House. I'm only one chapter in, but the writing in this so far is absolutely beautiful and stunning. The imagery and the imagination of the characters and the writing is really beautiful so far. So far I've just read the first chapter, which is all from Eleanor's point of view. And Eleanor is my absolute favorite in the show. So far this is very different from the TV show. It's just a group of people that come to stay at this house for the summer, I believe. So it's very interesting so far to see the differences in the story. I just now started Frankenstein by Junji Ito. Again, I just can't get over how stunningly beautiful this cover is. I already know the Frankenstein story because, like I said, I just read it earlier this year for the first time. So this is like a sort of easy read for me. So now that I'm sort of exhausted myself of reading, because I've read like 200 pages a day or more for like 4 days, today I'm just sort of taking it easy, reading a few chapters of Hill House and reading a little bit of this. It's a very sort of spooky, atmospheric day. I don't know if you can hear the thunder in the background, but I'm having a nice day. I'm gonna make some tea and I'm gonna read some more Frankenstein and maybe watch a little spooky movie or something. So that's my little update. I also wanted to show you guys, I wanted a little spooky craft, but I didn't really have anything, so I'm just doing like a little witchy design on these like yoga pants that I have with bleach. It's not entirely spooky, but I think it's kind of witchy, so it fits the vibes, and it's orange and black, so. now Friday evening. I decided to film my last little update tonight because tomorrow I'm quite busy, so I think I'll definitely be reading more, but I don't really know if I want to film more. So I have come outside because it's an appropriately spooky day here in Florida. There's been a lot of heat lightning, like up in the clouds, but not actual like storms here. It barely rained or anything. So it's just like eerie. Here are all of the books that I've finished this week. And then I also started Camp Damascus today. So I will quickly go over these. Also, I'm listening to Carrie on audiobook, which is fun. First of all, we have Hell Followed With Us by Andrew Joseph White. I really love this book. It's about this trans boy named Benji who is escaping from this evangelical cult that released this virus on the world called the Flood. And they're trying to basically kill everybody on Earth and like make Armageddon happen. And he gets taken in by this like LGBTQ center of teens that have been like surviving in this post-apocalyptic world. And now their goal is to fight this Christian cult and defeat them and kill them so that they can live safely. Really good, very horror. Sorry, my dog scared me. This was very unsettling at times, which is the point. But it did it successfully. There was a little bit of stuff in this that was like a little bit cringy, but it is a YA novel, so I kind of expect that, especially about teens in the modern age, or even like the future. This is like in the future, but their slang and stuff would be modern age, I guess, because the apocalypse happened like nowish, I think. Anyway, loved this. Next book I read is My Best Friend's Exorcism by Grady Hendrix. This is basically exactly what it sounds like. It focuses on 4 teens, mainly 2 teens, but it's like a group of 14 girls in the 80s in Charleston. It focuses on mainly these 2 best friends. And one of them gets possessed and starts doing all these awful things, and the other one, Abby, has to try to exorcise her, basically, or the demon from her. The first half of this book is kind of slow. The second half, crazy. Maybe like the second 2/3, actually. There was one scene in this book that is one of the most disturbing things I've ever read, where this worm is like coming out of this girl's throat, and that her dog is like pulling it out, and it's like 10 feet long. Gross. It was really gross. Okay, I'm gonna let this wind pass by before I continue. Maybe filming outside wasn't the best decision. Okay, screw it. I'm gonna try to film. If I have to refilm all of it, I will. Okay. The next book that I finished is Frankenstein by Junji Ito. This is pretty like clear cut, exactly the story of Frankenstein, like the book, with a few things taken out, so it's a little bit shorter. So it was good. It was very beautiful, but it definitely is not like a new take on it. It's just illustrated Frankenstein. Like I said, with a few things taken out, but then it also has some stories in here after Frankenstein, that are really, really scary and interesting, and I like them. They're the, Oshikiri stories, a few of them. I don't know how many there are, but there was like 5 in this, I think. And then a few stories about Junji Ito's dog at the end, which were really cute. So this was fun. And I read The Haunting of Hill House by Shirley Jackson. I loved this. The writing in this is some of the most beautiful writing I've ever read. I didn't like the story as much as I liked the story in the show. It was very different. The Netflix show by Mike Flanagan, The Haunting of Hill House, is about this family that has to stay at this house because they're fixing it up to sell it. So they're staying there for the summer. And their 5 kids are all of varying ages and have varying instances of the haunting in this house. And then we cut to them as adults dealing with the trauma that they went through at this house. And it's so beautiful. It's one of my favorite pieces of television ever created. This is not at all like that. There are a lot of similarities, but this man, Dr. Montague, wants to have scientific evidence of a haunting. So he knows that this house is claimed to be very haunted. So he invites several people that he knows have had paranormal instances in their lives to the house for the summer. Only two of them can actually come, Eleanor and Theodora. And then the people that own the house say that he can only do this if somebody from their family comes. So Luke is the person that comes from their family. And so it's these four people just staying at this house and having, building friendships and everything and having these terrible things happen. It was a little shorter than I would have liked. I wish it had gone on longer because I loved it so much that I was kind of bummed when it ended. But there are other Shirley Jackson stories in here, and that was the first one I'd ever read. So I'm definitely going to read more of this. I loved this. It was very, very beautiful. Almost 5 stars for me. And then Camp Damascus, I literally just started. I'm on chapter 2. But it's weird and spooky so far. It's really storming, so I'm gonna do my little outro. I had so much fun filming this video and reading all this spooky stuff for Summerween. Halloween is my favorite time of year, so this was a great way to add a little fun to my summer. I really love everybody else's Summerween vlog, so I'm excited to throw mine into the mix and to see everybody else's. If you watched this far or any of this video, thank you so much. Consider subscribing, liking, maybe leave a little pumpkin in the comments. And anyway, that's all for now. So, bye.